Hey everybody, this is Flavio Romeo, and on this episode of the Towncast, we had the chance to catch up with Joe Lorenzo. He's co-owner of Yella's right in Hawthorne, and also co-owner of the Lorenzo Food Group in Englewood, New Jersey. And him and his brother John have put together an incredible company for the last 15 years, and you won't believe how much food these guys produce. And I guarantee you that everybody listening, everybody watching, you will have eaten some of their food. All right, enjoy the episode, everybody. All right, everybody. So here we are. We're in Englewood, and you wouldn't even know this place existed. Okay, so you guys are familiar. If you're not familiar with Yella's, there's a store in Yella in Hawthorne called Yella's. It's an unbelievable sandwich shop and an ice cream shop, and one of the few places that has boilins on tap.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I'm with Joe Lorenzo. Joe, thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
Thank you.
And I have to tell you, this is like the American dream story, and I love these kind of stories because, you know, being an immigrant, my dad was we were all immigrants, my mom and dad, my older brother and I, and, you know, they came to America looking for that dream. And I think was your father born in Italy?
No, my father was born in the States. My grandfather, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your background.
So I grew up in West New York, New Jersey. My dad was rooted in West New York, believed that was the only place in the world that existed.
Now I have to stop because I know when I talked to Gay Rispoli, she told me you have to say West New York.
West New York, yeah.
Not West New York.
It's West New York.
West New York.
West New York, New Jersey. Yeah, so the Rispoli family, we grew up with the Rispoli family right there, right down the block. In fact, my dad, back at some point in the 70s, had a deli right next door to the original Rispoli.
And who would have thought that you would have opened up a shop
right next door?
Right next door to the Rispolis.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
So we eating good, we give them sandwiches and they give me cannolis and sprigadellas.
It's perfect.
It works out well.
That's why we look the way we do.
And that's it. And they're great people. They really are.
All right, so tell me about your grandfather.
So my grandfather was, came to the country, hard luck guy, during the Depression, took a job as a janitor in the school systems in West New York, and that was his life. His passion was to own an eatery. Never got the chance. My dad dabbled a little bit in it, but was more on the deli meat side, on the distribution side, selling Thuman's Deli Meats, which is, obviously northern New Jersey.
So he was a distributor for Thuman's?
He was a distributor for Thuman's, one of the first, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so
he had the Thuman's truck driving around?
My dad had a little Thuman's truck, looked like a good humor truck.
Yeah, small.
Popping 8 hams, go deliver 8 more hams, bolognas, head cheese, olive loaf. Back then, that's what everybody ate.
I'm one of the few people that like olive loaf.
It was a thing back then.
It was a thing.
Nowadays, I have 4 kids, no one will eat it anymore.
It's like mortadella. I grew up on mortadella.
Is there anything better than mortadella? There's nothing better than mortadella.
With these little slivers of pistachio and peppercorns
and pork fat in there.
Yes,
it's delicious. Yeah, so that's how we started. So my dad never opened up anything left for my grandfather's dream. It fell on me and my brother, and that was it. And then Yella's, when we opened up, was a tribute to our grandfather. Give him that chance to kind of resonate everything that he wanted, and that's what it was about for us.
So and the name, because we talked about, if you guys haven't heard the episode of the Towncast, we had Joe on. It's the audio episode, and you talked a little bit of it. But tell us the name Yella's. I love this.
So Yella, his name was Frank Lorenzo. Yella was a caller in dances back in the 30s and 40s. So you think about now, we have microphones and earplugs that back then used to just scream. So his nickname was Yella. So Frank became Yella.
He was the Yella.
He was Yella. I was his nigga, stuck with him. He used to yell at everybody and be the caller, get people out to the dance floor, and
if you remember, It's a Wonderful Life, we're going to be doing that screening coming up again, our 3rd annual this Christmas. But there's one part where he goes, "Hey, ladies and gentlemen, all right, everybody on the dance floor to do the Charleston."
That was my grandfather, and
That's what a Yella was.
That was a Yella. That's what he was. And they grew up. My dad was always proud of the life he created. They grew up in a cold water flat, no tub, no shower. They used to go once a week to go shower at the fire department in West New York. And my dad was truly the American dream. He came, he built the business. He was very proud of himself, selling Thuman's Deli Meats, and that was his everything. And me and my brother kind of expanded on it. And, what you're going to see today is that expansion and that dream that kind of followed it all.
So how old were you when you got involved, like with your dad in the business?
My dad started in '67, so I was 6 years old.
In '67?
In '67. I was born in '61. And, he used to take us on the trucks a little bit, do little deliveries. And then when I started high school, we used to work with him on days off. His route was small. It wasn't a big route, but we loved to be on it. Me and my brother both loved to work with our dad.
Yeah, when you're hanging out with Dad. I get emotional.
It was really good. So we used to go on routes, make some deliveries. And, my dad was he was a savant. He was, he never needed a calculator. Back then, they didn't have to have these, whatever those, the big he did it in his head. I used to watch him. I used to be impressed by how he figured out, weights and pricing in his head. And it never needed any, past
experience.
It was experience. And, I kind of based my career on that kind of business model, to remember everything, make it important to the customer base, know your answers before you start. And that was my dad's success, that he really worked well with his customer base.
My dad was the same way. When it came to, he was a tailor. So when it came to fabric, like he could tell you, he can, and he worked for, some of the better tailor shops in Bergen County. Any customers, Joe DiMaggio was one of his customers, a bunch of Yankees, and he didn't even know. I mean, he's a Sicilian guy. He had no idea who these people were. But, when you're in the business and you're devoted and you're completely committed to the business, like he could slice a pound of meat without ever weighing it. My dad was the same way with fabric. Like he could, all of a sudden he'd measure out like 6 yards of fabric, and they'd question him, like, how do you know that's 6 yards? Well, go ahead and measure it. Because he knew that this amount was a certain measurement, you know what I mean? And that's to me, that's commitment to the business, the stuff that you don't see. Like you don't see that visually. It's just, it's inherent.
Yeah, he loved what he did. He was very proud of it, proud of the products he sold. We don't sell any garbage. It was all quality products, and that's how I grew up. Quality and standards, and it was a real great little vibrant little business when I started.
So here you are. You're riding in your dad's truck, which I love. It had to be. At least you got to eat. My dad being a tailor, I'd go to my dad's shop. It was the most boring place in the watching him iron, and then watching him cut and watching him sew, and it's just like, but at least you got to eat.
Back in the day, the delis in northern New Jersey were really cool.
Yeah.
Whether it was a German deli, whether it was a Jewish deli, Italian deli, they were all.
So you had all kinds of meats.
All kinds of meats, and the supermarkets did not sell deli meats. They didn't slice meats back in the day. So,
is that right?
No, you never. There was no supermarket. There was no deli stations.
You had to go to a subtle.
You had to go to a Salameria, to a delicatessen.
That's so interesting. I forgot about that. In Hawthorne, I don't know if for you guys that are old enough, there used to be a place in Hawthorne called La Salumeria, and my mother would always say, go to La Salumeria and pick up a half a pound of this, a pound of. So I'd walk down. It was right on Lafayette Ave. I'd walk down. Everybody's Italian, and I didn't even occur to me that they didn't have delis in the supermarkets.
No delis in supermarkets. It was strictly, shelf stuff, and
it's
changed. So we don't know that now. It kind of it was a forgotten art. And then companies like Thuman's and Boar's-Head, they wouldn't sell their meats back in the day to supermarkets, no matter what.
They
wanted to protect the delicatessens. Yeah. So obviously that all changed as times went on, but that was the standard back in the day. So it was really it was kind of cool the way it worked.
So Yella's just open. We just had the grand opening of Yella's. We celebrated their grand opening a couple of weeks ago. You guys opened up officially earlier in 2022.
Yes.
But the history of Yella's goes back.
Yeah, so Yella's is believe it or not, is a is an extension of a place called Fat Angelo's back in the day when my dad grew up. So Fat Angelo's, it was called Angelo's, and the guy who owned it was pretty fat. It's called Fat Angelo, and anybody from West New York.
That's such an Italian thing.
Yeah, so we grew up knowing Fat Angelo, and at the time, me and my brother, he was an elderly guy, but he made the best steak sandwiches in West New York. And so if you look at Yella's, one of the classic sandwiches is the Fat Angelo. It's a little tribute to Fat Angelo. But Yella's was kind of built on that premise to be, great 30s, 40s, 50s food. So hot pastrami and corned beef and Italian subs and steak sandwiches and milkshakes. It was the epitome of what the small little Salamaria's steak places were back in the day.
And I got to tell you, again, if you haven't been to Yella's in Hawthorne, look it up. Check it out. It's some of the best foods, and I love the names. Just it's a family place.
Well, it's really. I have a simple model to things. Good stuff in means good stuff out. We just put good stuff in the product. We're not. I don't want to tell you that there's not great steak sandwiches or sub sandwiches out there, because that would be, it would be rude to some of the people in town, like the Angelinas and the Bogies that do really well, and they got great stuff, and they all use good stuff. Angelinas, I know the family well. They do great stuff.
But you guys, you're Louisiana hot. You're not going to find that everywhere.
You're not going to find it everywhere, but
you're not going to find a Lombardi everywhere.
You put good stuff in, you're going to get good stuff out, and all that is the culmination of just using good stuff and kind of putting it together.
And the reason why we wanted to do this is because, oftentimes you see the facade, you see the businesses that are out there, and you see the people that are behind the counter, but you don't understand what's behind it. Like what's the business that was behind it to get to where it is today.
Well, you're going to see it today,
and that's what we're gonna share with you guys today. So tell me a little bit about York Street Catering, how that whole thing came about.
York Street Catering was a division of Lorenzo Food Group back in the day, and York Street Catering started in 2007 by chance. I was invited to an Amisa Scoffier casino fundraising night at the New York Hilton. That was a fundraiser for up-and-coming chefs. Okay. At that fundraiser, the executive chef of the New York Hilton introduced me to his sandwich maker. I looked at him like he was a little crazy.
To the guy that they bought sandwiches from?
They bought sandwiches from. Okay. They bought a lot of deli meats and cheeses from me. So he says, Joe, you're room service and marketplace. He goes, that guy is banquets and conventions. He says, but I don't like his sandwiches. I need your meats and cheeses on his sandwiches. And he put us together. He goes, I'm going to let you guys network. You both know what I want. And the guy was very nice. He shook my hand. Chef, thank you. As soon as he walked away, he was the rudest, obnoxious, most pretentious man I've ever met in my life.
Really?
Yes. And I got a little aggravated with him. And, being a guy from West New York, Hudson County guy.
Jersey guy.
Jersey guy. I went back to the executive chef and said, why don't you try our sandwiches too? And we didn't sell wholesale sandwiches.
You weren't making sandwiches?
I wasn't making. We had a Yella's on York Street in Jersey City.
You were just making sandwiches.
We were making sandwiches for a local place that sat on York Street. I had a back of the house corporation called York Street Catering, with no sales in it and no revenue. It was just a shelf in case
there was nothing. Just in case something happened.
In case someone wanted to catering, we had a business. So when the chef says, "You make sandwiches?" I go, "Yes, we make them in Jersey City, chef. You'll never see them in New York because we don't come to New York." He says, "I want to bring you in for a tasting. I'd love to try your sandwiches." I said, "No problem." 2 weeks later, he calls me up. He says, "Come in and show me your sandwiches." I went, humming. I made it, but I worked in delis. And
how many? What'd you have to do?
Well, I did a tasting for about 40 different types of sandwiches. I looked at some of his menus, and I worked in delis in colleges, and as I was going through college, and I knew the business, and I made about 40 different sandwiches, presented to him, and he gave me a 1,200 sandwich order, and
right there on the spot.
On the spot, and I'm a cool guy, but my armpits start sweating.
How much time did you have to make 12?
2 days.
2 days.
2 days. I called my brother up, and
Johnny.
Yeah, my brother John. You'll meet inside, and he says, "I go, John, get the trucks out of the garage." He says, "What are you talking about? We have to make 1,200 sandwiches tomorrow night." He goes, "How are we going to do that?" I said, "Borrow some folding tables from the DPW out of North Bergen." And we put some folding tables together. We borrowed a slice machine from Lou's Bakery. It sat across the street from our garage.
And you just
And me and him worked through the night and made 12.
you go back to your dad and said, "Dad, we need some of these meats."
My dad thought we were nuts. He said, "What are you nuts? What are you doing? You're crazy." And he came down through the night to see what we were doing. My dad liked the action. He was older in age.
Yeah, sure.
Loved the action. And me and John made those sandwiches, and not knowing.
And you just sliced all night for
We
2
sliced
hours?
and made sandwiches, packed them, and delivered them. And we thought we were done.
1,200 sandwiches.
1,200 sandwiches. We delivered them the next day. We thought we were done. One shot, done. Chef called me up the next day. Everybody loved the sandwiches. I need 600 more. And I gave your name to the Marriott Marquis.
So this went. You provided for the New York Hilton.
New York Hilton.
And they recommended you
To the Marriott
to the
Marquis.
which is unheard of.
Unheard of.
They're
He
competitors.
says, everybody needs help. I said, okay. We made those sandwiches for Marquis. Marquis gave my name to the Waldorf Astoria. Waldorf gave it to the Peninsula. Peninsula gave it to the Marriott East Side. And I wound up making sandwiches. Nothing, back then you had to be USDA if you made a wrap or a salad. So we weren't USDA, so we just made sandwiches. And we sold them to the hotels in New York City for about 2 years. And then in 2009 we became USDA. But that's how the business started.
So how many sandwiches like that first year, from making nothing? How many sandwiches did you guys make that first year?
In the first year, we probably did a couple $100,000 in business. It was probably like in June of 2007 that we started. We made a couple $100,000 worth. So I don't know, 50, 60,000 sandwiches.
50, 60,000 sandwiches from a couple of folding tables.
Now we make about 700,000 a week. So that's.
So understand, 700,000 sandwiches.
It could be a sandwich, it could be a salad. 700,000 pieces.
And we're going to say, so 700,000 pieces of product a week. A week.
Fresh. So made fresh, delivered fresh every day. So it's.
And I want to talk about that because, oftentimes, and here's the thing, I'm going to brag about you guys. So a lot of my friends know how much I travel, right? And I was just telling Joe, I traveled in my lifetime a minimum of 2 million miles, which is it's 8 times. It's 8 times back and forth to the moon. And so I spend a lot of times in the airports. And I always get those quick sandwiches, the grab and goes and no idea that probably 95% of the time I'm eating this guy's food.
Yeah.
Right, so tell me a little bit about the foods that you provide.
So back in the day when we started growing it, we identified that there was a need for fresh made products as labor became scarcer and as it became people wanted more of a cultivated job in the industry. This became a necessity, and we just packaged food, yeah. And then with all the safety concerns, all the back of the house protocol you need. There's not many people that do what we do as well. So it kind of grew from a hotel business to hospitals to colleges to stadiums, conventions, railroads. You name it, we do it.
So from there, tell me the span of your business today.
Today we go from Charleston, South Carolina to Kennebunkport, Maine, then northwest to Buffalo and down into West Virginia from here every day.
Every day?
Every day. And then Cincinnati, we have another facility in Cincinnati that covers everything north to Traverse City, Michigan, down to New Orleans and across. So we pretty much cover half the United States.
So you guys understand, because I know I've had this conversation. So every day?
Every day.
South Carolina?
Every day.
What's the process of getting the food to them fresh every day? So people understand. Because nothing's frozen.
Nothing's frozen.
You guys aren't shipping in freezer packs and getting it down there, letting it thaw in their warehouse.
So you think about, go back to the Revolutionary War with Paul Revere, and when he said the British were coming, and it was the Pony Express, one guy would tell the British is coming, and the next guy would tell the British are coming. We do the same thing logistically. We have depots in Baltimore, Maryland, Richmond, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, North Boston, and then Utica, New York. And then in the Midwest, we have depots throughout our region from Chicago, Cleveland, Columbus, Jackson, Mississippi, wherever it may be. We have depots. So our products go to these depots. And then I have local drivers that work for us that distribute the product to the market. So you think about University of South Carolina, Clemson University. I have local drivers based out of Columbia that deliver that product. So the people that are eating our food in South Carolina are eating the same product that's going over to New York Presbyterian, Sloan Kettering, it could be, Holy Name Hospital, wherever it may be. Everybody eats the same food. It's just what time it leaves our building.
And it's all manufactured here.
All right here.
Guys, we are in Englewood, New Jersey. 100% of the products that are distributed from this facility are manufactured right here. We're going to take a look. And now you've got a place in Cincinnati?
Yeah, same thing.
That's doing similar to what...
Yeah.
So we're going to take a look at what they're doing here. The trucks, how early in the morning do the trucks leave?
Trucks start leaving at 8 o'clock at night. The last truck goes
8
out
o'clock at night?
Yeah. And the last truck goes out at 4 o'clock in the morning. I have about 90 trucks.
Colleges, universities, hospitals, airports, all these packages.
Stadiums. So if you think about, everybody likes football, you change your hats. You like the Redskins, you like the Eagles, you like the Jets, the Giants, the Buffalo Bills. I make the food for all those locations. Really? The Boston Bruins, the Celtics, the Nets, the Sixers, the Phillies, the Yankees, the Mets.
So when you go to these places, now they're not labeled all York Street, are they?
I know most of them are. We have different.
I know the
labels.
airports are.
So you'll see some of our customers have their own private label.
Yeah.
It's the same product, but
yeah.
we'll put their label on in respect for them.
So now you're going to get a chance to see exactly what goes into this. So when you go to Yella's in Hawthorne, understand the deep background of the business behind the sandwich that you're eating, and we're going to take a look. And now I understand you're expanding even more.
We're going further, yeah. So we're going south, Florida, looking out in Texas as well. We're looking to grow it even further. So.
And how many people do you employ here?
700.
700 people right here out of Englewood, from Joe and John making sandwiches on a couple of folding tables that you borrowed from the DPW.
Yeah, that's it. That's right. A bundle of hot dogs went a long way.
A bundle of hot dogs. I love
a trade-off. Yeah.
All right, so Joe was kind enough to let us tour a little bit of the facility, so we'll get a chance to see what it takes to produce 700,000 packaged goods a week
safely.
Safely.
So everything, what you're going to see is, and you're going to hear me talk about it, everything is in 38-degree rooms. So all the workers never leave that cold environment.
Do you have a jacket?
Yeah, you're going to have jackets on. You're going to dress cold. You're going to be cold. Your lips are going to be blue by the time you're done. Everything is safe. Everything is controlled by a great quality assurance team we have here, food safety team.
And you had to learn that along the way.
We learned everything. I want to tell you that I'm smart, but really we just knew it. We just knew what we had to do. We have some great people that work for us now, and it's a great team effort.
You ready to take a tour? You ready?
Let's go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You want to warm up? You want me to light a fire?
We're gonna race through it. It's gonna be like speed tour.
And then if everybody watches it, really look at it, because this is something different and unique that you guys will never see. You'll see how fresh food is really manufactured, and it's going to be an interesting little video.
And I guarantee, I know a lot of you guys travel, and a lot of you guys in your lifetimes have traveled, or you went to college. When you see these packaged goods, understand, when you see anything in these stores, understand that there's a life behind it. We take it so for granted that you just go up, grab and go. You grab something and go. And
also understand, when you're buying our product, and there's products out there that are inferior, just like when you go to a retail place and you see you don't like something, some things are cheaper quality. We use the best of product. Like when you go to Yella's, it's just really good stuff in and out. You'll see, and then that's what we stand behind. That's where our business grew, because we give great product, great standards.
And unlike the guy that gave you some lip. Whatever happened to that guy?
He's out of business. I want everybody to understand this too. We are local centric. So our breads come from Patterson. Gianellas makes all our breads.
Gianellas, and a shout out to Gianellas. Gianellas, the family has their deli in.
They do. I mean, it's not the same owners now. So but
the name lives on.
The name lives on. They are great. Father of two sons that work they are as dynamic as we are here. They work their rear ends off.
And my parents, I remember Gianella. I remember that bread wrapper, the Gianella's bread wrapper from Patterson. My parents went to Patterson when we first moved here, my dad used to play pinochle, and he used to play score.
They still have the cafes over there. You want to lose your money, go to Patterson.
Yeah.
But our wraps, all our wraps and our pita products come from Tufayan, which is in Ridgefield, New Jersey. Our deli meats come from Thuman's, which is in Carlstadt, New Jersey.
And a lot of people don't know that.
They don't know that. Our yogurts and our hummus come from Estee. They're in Rutherford, New Jersey. So a lot of our products, our core products, are New Jersey centric.
I love that.
It means a lot for the classic integrity that we put into it, because we all know and love what's made here. And not saying that anything in New York or Connecticut or anywhere else isn't great, because there's some great products out there too. But we want to control it and work with some local vendors and keep it.
Well, and it's you know, there's a lot to be said about working local.
Yeah.
You know, you support one another. You're there for one another. You can go and knock on their door. You know, you could drive down. You could see what's going on. You could check the facility.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, buying it from somewhere else. You have no idea what they're doing in those doors.
Yeah, I mean, listen, even our produce, you know, produce you can't have local, because you have to grow it in, you know, where the areas that they grow it, like California or Arizona. But we control the fields where we get our greens from. You're going to see it. You know, we'll have our companies cut our greens and ship them directly. We certify them so that we know what we're getting. Small products like strawberries and blueberries, we have 2 local produce suppliers that go and shop the markets for us and buy the best of the best for us every day. So it's kind of unique. You're going to see it all when we look around.
I'm excited. All right, guys, stay tuned, because we're gonna take a tour of the facility, and I think you guys are going to be. I'm geeky this way.
Yeah.
I love going to factories. I love seeing how things are made, and especially when you're putting things in your mouth, you're going to ingest them. I think it's good to know the man behind it, the company behind it, and the product behind it.
You know, we're proud of it, and we hope you guys enjoy it. So,
all right,
let's go.
Let's take a tour.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Every building, our 3 buildings are all.
So they're all generated?
All generator driven.
So if it's lights out,
lights out, we're on.
no problem.
No problem. So here's our catering area here, where we're making some paninis. This might be a chicken parm panini, or it could be some sort of a roast beef panini. I don't know what they're making it now, but all of this is catering. So if you go to a college campus and you see a station where they're going to give you a soup and maybe half a panini, this is where they come from. This is where they come from. The sandwiches being wrapped on this side. These are, if you go to an emergency room or a maternity ward, you might get one of these sandwiches. They're given, and the hospitals give these to people that are waiting long hours in a hospital. We provide this as a service.
I think I've had a couple of those. Valley Hospital.
The Valley Hospital is one of them. So here you'll see our Paragon chicken with a pickled cabbage on it on the croissant.
Got a nice sandwich here, nice croissant. I size it up, send it home.
And then it gets wrapped up in here?
So it'll go up into that form. It'll seal it. It'll heat seal it. It comes out finished on the other side. So on this side we're making steak paninis. So you'll see our fresh peppers and onions that we cook in house, with roast beef that's made by Thuman's, panini bread that's made by Aladdin Bakers out of Brooklyn, New York. That side you'll see some of the Gianello's ciabatta product with our house-made tuna salad. Tuna salad comes.
Gianella ciabatta?
That's a Gianello ciabatta right there.
Nice.
See our pretzel, roast beef pretzel heroes. Pretzel bread is made by Alpine Bakers out of Union City, New Jersey. Italian combos on one side, pretzel sandwiches on the other. Each sandwich line does about 600 pieces per hour.
How many?
600 pieces per hour. So
600 pieces per hour.
About 600 per hour. Yes, that's the average. That we have to hit.
And you guys do like veggie stuff too?
Everything.
Gluten-free or all that?
Gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian, plant-based. I think here is a plant-based product coming out. So that is a plant-based product. So that's
yeah, it looks like
tempeh, got fake cheese on it, whatever that is. I don't personally eat it.
Sausage, egg, and cheese.
Sausage, egg, and cheese. For those people who like to eat fake stuff, this is what it is. That's all that.
Amazing.
That stuff that's everybody loves to eat now. Plant-based product.
By the way, I had to put this on.
How attractive are we right now, huh?
Oh, it's in very good shape. You have the hair, you have the
I
face.
know, I got the whole thing.
But if you look at the product, you
This
look
is
at the
amazing.
amount of products that we're going out here. This room here will produce about 40,000 sandwiches. Just sandwiches, about 40,000 sandwiches today. Just
40,000 sandwiches today.
Just this room. We have other rooms to show you as well. Everything is cooked fresh, so there's some fresh tortellini being made. Tortellinis are made fresh, it's right on it, right into so fresh squash, green and yellow, will be grilled, every day as needed. Then I'll be chilled and put on all your sandwiches or a salad. But you got a delicious spice going on this right now, and they'll kind of sit there and then go into our flash chills in a few minutes. But once again, no inventory, everything is made fresh to order.
Say that again. So here it is, the bacon area.
It's the bacon area. So right now, this oven behind you is full. You can go back there and look at it. That oven is going to cook bacon. Or we'll do 1,200 pounds of bacon at a clip. We do about 1,200 pounds at a clip. We do about 10,000. Here we are making our yogurt parfaits. Our granola is an all-natural organic granola that's produced in Clifton, New Jersey. Esty is a company based out of Rutherford. They make our yogurt product. It's an all-natural, clean product. It mimics a Greek yogurt, so there is no colors, there's no additives. It's the premise.
I know I've had a lot of these at the airport.
There's nothing in it. It is a great eat. It's not like some of the brands that out there that add food colors.
You guys do the grapes too?
We pluck every grape in here. We have a team of grape pluckers. They just pluck grapes. Cut our own fruit. So behind you, Chef. You'll see some fruits that are going to go into our fruit cups in a little bit. So they're sitting there.
All cut fresh.
All cut fresh. I'm going to bring into the rooms like that. Fresh cut fruit every day. We don't use cheese because we want fruit to be like it's cut at home.
Right.
So the cheese will naturally soften it up. So we don't use that. We don't want it back. We use the best. When I tell you we use the best, we use the best. We want to make sure that our product meets our standards, meets my standards. Apples we cut, they get treated with a natural solution that keeps them from turning brown.
Yeah.
With that said, some apples that'll separate it, and they'll be chilled. So that's a pork shoulder that's been.
Is that pulled pork?
Pulled pork.
Beautiful.
Even mayonnaise. We use Mike's Amazing. Mike's out of Saddlebrook, New Jersey.
That's out of Jersey too?
Saddlebrook, New Jersey, yes. You guys can't feel the temperature. Flavia, how cold is it?
It's really cold. It's really cold in here.
So I want you guys to appreciation of all the workers here.
Yeah.
At Wall Street. Nothing gets above 38 degrees here in the work environment. We cook our chicken. This is all going to be used for either buffalo chicken or chicken parmesan.
So you cook it, you bread it, and everything.
Well, we bread it, we cook it, we chill it, we chop it, we put it on a sandwich. In this room right now, you're probably seeing about 15,000 pounds of grilled chicken.
15,000 pounds of grilled chicken.
So
You got to be one of the larger chicken customers.
This is all for our own house. So this room you're sitting in is a blast chiller. These refrigeration units are high velocity blowers that are blowing on this chicken. So this chicken came in the rooms out of our ovens at 170 degrees, and they're going to be chilled down within 90 minutes.
Yeah, and I can tell you guys, the chillers really work.
All of these documentation on here is done to protect the consumer. We have to certify that everything hits temperature in a time-managed philosophy that USDA governs. So all this chicken here is going to be chilled and then put into our sandwiches. In between each layer of product that we use, they are cleaning and sanitizing all the lines. So we use a special solution that will wipe it down. So when the next product gets on, those conveyor belts are documented to be You see our wraps made by Too Fine in Richfield, New Jersey?
Richfield, New Jersey.
So that's where they all come from. We make a few wraps here at Yorkshire. Right? So let's take a look at this line. Now, you might want to stand over here and just kind of shoot down.
Yeah.
So we're making our chicken Caesar wrap, which is our #1 wrap seller.
Is that a chicken Caesar?
That's a chicken Caesar wrap.
That's my favorite.
You guys sell Yankee Stadium?
We do.
Tell them to charge a little less, because every time I go to Yankee Stadium, I get one of those.
So we do the sweets at Yankee Stadium. There's no weekend. If you get a sandwich in the sweets, we get it.
Hey!
No problem. You'll see some of the finished product called wraps coming out as they grab it. You'll see them here, and they're going to take them. They're going to put them in these plastic containers, and how the finished product is here. That's all. They're going to go across the street to be labeled. Southwest chicken salad. It's that roasted chicken that you saw inside that we season. In-house roasted corn and black beans, pepper jack cheese, in-house pico de gallo, ranch dressing, and our
It's all there.
Yep. That's it coming out.
These look like the airport kind of pads,
Airport,
right?
yeah, so everything's separated. Got a 4-day shelf life on that product once it hits a consumer. But this product, I don't think it probably eat for 7 days. We put a 4-day shelf life because we want them turning it off.
Yeah.
We don't want anybody holding it.
What is this?
Chef salad.
Chef salad.
Chef salad, yeah.
So the chef salad's coming down. Everybody puts the different components.
You can fly over here. You
Comes packed up.
Fuck it up. You know how many does this hold? How many salads go in here?
200 salads.
200.
That's in-house cooked pasta, in-house made sauce. The chicken that you saw them chop it up inside. There's another version.
Oh, look at
So
the
there's
little
a chicken
mozzarella on
parm.
top. And now I'm in my element.
You see, we go across the street. All of these Swiss cheese and turkeys and hams are all chopped in-house. We'll show you how we do that. Over here, we're making some of our grain bowls. So you'll show you a finished product of our grain bowl. What that looks like. These, believe it or not, sell more than our meals. So that's a lentil pot. You saw them chopping cauliflower before. That's it right there.
Vegan bowls?
It's a vegan bowl. Sauteed kale with cranberries and chickpeas and some carrots in it. With a hummus tzatziki. Street comes into this room.
So all the production ends up here, and everything gets packaged up here.
If anybody ever went to college and had a box lunch at a college or a convention, we make about 2.5 million box lunches a year. Here's how we make box lunches. It's a nice, take a look, go over there and go see what they're doing. It's a room full of really great products. So take a look over here. You saw some of the salads being made in that corner. You see some salads. Paco, what are you doing on the side? You here now?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Paco is one of my room supervisors here.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Good man.
You know, and again, people have no idea what's involved in something that they just grab and go.
Everything you see in this room will be out tonight.
Everything here is going to be it's going to be on a truck, gone.
Tonight for consumption tomorrow. This one holds about 350, so you got 4, 6, 8. You got about 1,200 chicken Caesar salads here alone. Obviously, there's more here behind. So about 1,500.
All going out tonight. So this is all, you'll find us in the airport.
You'll find this in the airport.
It's all Hudson News.
You'll find all Hudson News product. This section here is dedicated to Hudson News. Right now we're going through a unique time. Turkeys there's every on bird flu out there with turkeys. It's turkey shortage. I can't get turkeys and logs to go on these big machines.
Is that right?
Yes, there's a big turkey shortage.
Is that why the prices have gone up?
Prices have gone up. 4 times the turkey price has gone up fourfold.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
So you see this big machine? It's slicing Swiss cheese. This machine will slice about 2,000 pounds of Swiss cheese an hour.
2,000 pounds of Swiss cheese an hour.
So you'll see them slicing now. They're slicing shingle. There's about 300 pounds of cheddar cheese here that's going to be cubed. It'll take probably 10 minutes to cube all this cheddar.
To cube all of it?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
So it'll do 10 pounds in 5 seconds. We have about, I don't know, about 20 hams here that are going to be sliced. Each one is about 12 pounds. I'm going to show you how it looks. This machine, each one of these machines cost me about $250,000. So she's going to put that 12 pounds in there. That's going to grab it. That arm's going to grab it. It's got a sensor on it to tell them how thick it is. And now we're going to start cutting it. That plate is picking it up automatically. It's going to come out now. Each portion is going to be 3 ounces.
So it's portioned out
Portioning it out.
to what you need.
That ham is made in Carlstadt, New Jersey. It was probably made a couple of days ago. And within 70 hours, it's going to be on the center. That's how fast we cut it. Our hams, if you look at our hams, there's not a lot of water in them. There's not a lot of salt. Loomis is just a great job on their product, and that's why we use them. It's a real great, wholesome product. It's the most healthy deli meat you'll ever eat. Prosciutto. We have customers that want prosciutto. We slice them for them. All done. These machines will slice it paper thin, automatically. This Juana, she's my production room lead here. Juana handles everything in here. About 300,000 pounds of product a week go through Juana.
Good job. A lot of work.
All right. So now where are we?
We're in our packed out area. So once the products are produced, brought to our marketplace, picked, they come to all these wonderful people on this side that are going to be labeling the product. So when you go to a supermarket and put an order, make an order and then cash it out and get a total, we started with a total and get it down to 0. Every box has a label on it that identifies what's in it. You'll see all different labels going on our product. These are all orders that are going to be produced. So you're going to have some family meal ziti's, some meatball palms. You got some protein bowls. These are all stuff that's going to be shipped out right away. And then we'll show you. He's putting a label on some of the products. Or getting a meatball dinner going out with our Yorkshire market.
Who makes sure they get their meatballs?
Me.
Come on. Gotta be an Italian.
You got some meatloaf too for the standard eaters too. And once again, everything's made in house. We don't buy anything pre-made. We don't look for deals. We buy the best of the best.
So
without counting the pickers.
all right. So we're in the packing room. And this is the guy. What's your name?
Robert,
Robert. So Robert, you're managing everything going on in here.
Yes,
And how many stations do you have?
29.
29 stations. How many packaged goods can you put out a day?
Anywhere from 65 to 80.
1,000.
The record I broke is 94 last Friday.
94,000. You broke your record last Friday.
It's one shift.
One
Second
shift.
does it again. So
10-hour shift.
we'll do.
God bless you. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
We'll do days up to 200,000 pieces packed out. That's our foot-long subs that are going out for those late night munchies on college campuses.
Oh, yeah.
They like this. Those thin girls, they eat everything else. That's with the Yella.
Yasmin, pleasure.
North Bergen, homegrown.
Jersey boy.
Jersey boy.
All right.
So he's responsible for these buildings. What's the average lifetime of any product that we receive? How long was it?
So dry goods tend to be about 72 hours turnaround. Inside is about 24 to 36 hours depending on the product. Turnover is daily.
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 It just turns.
So
Yeah.
we're nimble. Yeah. So we're New York centric. We're 3 miles outside of New York City. Our product is brought in and turned over quickly.
And obviously we have everything separated in terms of allergens. So
you separate it by allergen.
Everything's separated by allergens.
So you have all your nuts on one side.
We have all of our nuts, our proteins, our wheats, our dairy, and it's all been certified by QA. Proteins, everything's been separated to fit that model.
So you're in charge of QA?
Yes, I'm not in charge.
Oh, you can say you're in charge.
Okay.
You are right now.
Yeah.
This is Samantha. She's an Englewood Cliffs girl.
Yeah.
Nice. So she's checking for QA on all the products.
She's making sure that
Random
everything
checks?
we say that we document that we are actually doing. So she is the safety check between USDA, SQF, which is a Safe Quality Food Certification, and us to make sure that what we say we're doing, we're actually doing.
And right now we're just making sure everything's under 40 degrees.
Under 40.
Yeah.
I can tell you it's under 40.
You're under, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely under 40.
That's on a daily basis. So you see how,
All right. I'm speechless. First of all, I'm still thawing. I'm thawing. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how they do it in there. I mean, they're all bundled up.
Product never breaks temperature. That's the key thing. So that's safety. Safety keeps product, real efficient. So any people that are buying product out in the in the field, in the marketplaces, just make sure that you have some of that. You know about that. You have to make sure your product stays in a cold environment.
Cold, and everybody's bundled up. Everybody's
Bundled
covered.
up.
I mean, there's-
Safety.
You can tell you had
Safety.
QA people in there, and the quality of the food is outstanding.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, good
It's
stuff.
amazing.
Good in, good out. That's simple philosophy. It's good stuff.
Thank you so much for the tour. I
Thank
hope you
you.
guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I mean, I love this kind of stuff, and what I love is that this is 15 years.
It's 15 years.
15 years they started, and they're shipping out hundreds of thousands of product a week, and it's quality stuff. So listen, if your kids are in college, rest assured that they're eating well. If they're buying from York Street markets, they're eating well. When you go to the airport, you go to Hudson News, you go to any of the shops in the airports, especially in the Northeast, the Southeast, now the Midwest.
Midwest,
Hopefully
yeah.
at some point, West
Further.
Coast.
Yeah, well, I don't know. West Coast is a far reach, but we're going to try to get out there. We'll see what's best for us.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
see.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you for
And
coming.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for spending
And listen,
time with
make
us.
sure now you know when you go to Yella's, you have an amazing corporation and manufacturing facility behind it. So
And enjoy it. It's built for the town. It's built for you guys. So enjoy the product.
yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Flavio. Thank you.
All right, be well, everybody.
Okay.